if you're diagnosed with Parkinson's disease, you do not have to let Parkinson's define you.
All right, welcome back to the Spero Means Hope podcast, where we take storytelling to a whole new level by interviewing and sharing amazing patient stories, speak with experts in the community, and share resources for clinicians and students. So tonight we have with us Stan Wedel. Hi, Stan.
Hi.
How you doing tonight?
I'm doing pretty well. I'm really happy to be part of this, and so ready to rock.
Ready to rock, and very excited to have you. So Stan is an amazing human and community member in Austin, Texas. So can you start by introducing yourself? Where are you from? What do you do for a living? What do you do for fun?
Sure. I'm Stan Wedel. I'm actually from Killeen, the Killeen-Fort Hood area. I was born in Temple and stayed in Killeen until I went to college in Abilene. And then I left when I got out of school in Abilene. I started to work for Bob Bullock, the Texas State Controller, and I was an auditor with his office. And then I transferred to Austin. They were having, they needed help from other parts of the agency, and I volunteered to go to Austin. And by the end of that, they wanted to keep me, and I wanted to stay there. So anyway, I've been in Austin since 1976. And it's really, I had a really great younger life. It would have been absolutely idyllic had my mother not been terminally ill for actually quite a while. And I went to college at Abilene Christian, and there I met so many friends. I have so many friends today. In fact, we were working on right now a reunion of people that we all went to college 50 years ago. We're putting that together now, and that will be sometime in May. And then, I transferred to Austin, and I had a state government career of about 30 years. But what I did was I managed large infrastructure operations, and I'll give you an example. So I was with the Attorney General's office at one point for about 10 years, and so the divisions of budget and accounting and human resources and information technology, those divisions reported to me. It was kind of the same thing under Bob Bullock at the state controller. And then I finished my career as the chief of staff at the Texas Department of Insurance. So I'm retired, and Marcia, it's all it's cracked up to be.
How many years have you been retired now?
Well, so there's a very interesting kind of cascade of events that happen. And I'm going to match this with Parkinson's diagnosis. So I retired in 2011. I had actually retired from government in 2002, and then I did my own consulting work until 2011. My last contract was in May of 2011, and there was something about that year where I just was not feeling right. And so I'll toss in a couple of things here. December 3rd of 2011 was when I married my wife, who's sitting here beside us, subtly critiquing me. But on December 3rd of 2011, we got married. On January 12th of 2012, I was diagnosed with Parkinson's. So that was something. Now, let me also say this. Ann and I dated for 18 years.
Oh, wow.
And then we got married December 3rd of 2011. So Sunday will be our 12th wedding anniversary.
Congratulations, you two.
Yeah.
Aw.
So we married 18 years, and now we've been married 12. So we're 30 years together.
Aw.
Yeah. And so as soon as we got married, Parkinson's became a big part of our life. So what happened after the diagnosis of Parkinson's was that I did not handle that well at all. I started thinking about wheelchairs and bed confinement and all of that. And I started drinking a lot more. Um, and I cut off pretty much most of the people that were close to me. You know, when you're diagnosed with Parkinson's disease, you don't have to react like I did. Um, but it's a devastating diagnosis, especially um, if you don't know anything about it. The way I was diagnosed was I went into a neurologist. I was sent by my primary care physician, and so the neurologist, after probably 15 minutes, told me that I had Parkinson's disease, and then he wrote me a prescription, and he said, "Come back in 6 months." And then he left, and I thought he was coming back to tell me what Parkinson's was. So a nurse popped her head in the door, and she said, "Can I help you?" And I said, "Yes." I was waiting for the doc, and she said, "No, he's through with you. He's gone on to the next patient." So I went out to our vehicle, and I called Ann, and I said, "Well, the doctor says I have Parkinson's disease." And she said, "Well, isn't that really bad?" And so we went home and we got on the Michael J. Fox website, and that's how we found out about Parkinson's. Um, and then things went downhill for me for going on probably nearly 2 years until my drinking got to such a point that Ann made it very clear to me that she couldn't do this anymore, and that if I didn't seek treatment, that there were going to be some pretty dire consequences. So I did go into treatment. That was July the 17th of 2014. On July the 17th of 2023, I celebrated 9 years of sobriety. And thank you very much. And what I found along that way was that I found a purpose that I had never really had before, that I never really thought of before. I started working with people that were addicts and alcoholics. And I'll tell you, it means everything to me. That is my purpose in life, working with other people. That's what I firmly believe. I also I had heard from a nurse around the treatment time about Power for Parkinson's. So I just had kind of filed that away in the back of my mind. And one day I decided to try it out, and I did. And several years later, I'm now on the board of Power for Parkinson's as their treasurer.
Again, congratulations on the sobriety. That's amazing. And I think it's so inspiring to see you come out of that, but then also now like help people going through that as well. Can you talk a little bit about Power for Parkinson's, some of the services that are offered, some of the things that the organization does?
You bet. And let me preface that by saying, if you're diagnosed with Parkinson's disease, you do not have to let Parkinson's define you. What happened to me when I got out of treatment and I got into Power for Parkinson's, I started realizing that by doing that class, I was getting stronger, and I was able to do things that I thought I couldn't do. And so Power for Parkinson's led me into getting into a boxing class. And so now, these days, and I have another injury that's keeping me from being able to participate right now, but Ann and I have, for the past few years, been a part of boxing and then having a strength and conditioning coach come over and work with us. Exercise is the absolute must if you have Parkinson's disease. If you can have Parkinson's, you can take all the right meds, you can eat all the right foods, you can try to do all the right things. If you don't exercise, you're not you're not going to get better, and you're probably going to get worse. Now, to Power for Parkinson's. Power for Parkinson's was founded 11 years ago by two ladies, Susan Stahl and Nina Mosier, and Nina is the executive director of Power for Parkinson's today. It started off as in Austin, a few classes to get people in that wanted to exercise that had Parkinson's. Over the years, it has really expanded, and now we are in, I think, 11 classes in like 8 locations in Austin, something to that effect, live classes that you can attend. And But what's really been big was when the pandemic hit, we had to shut down the classes. So we started going to a YouTube show and videoing stuff and sending it out to anybody who wanted to get on and exercise with us. That has gone completely haywire. We are in, I think, and don't hold me to this, but I think we're actually in over 100 countries now.
Oh, I did not know that. That's amazing.
We are a massive force in the area of exercise for Parkinson's.
That's amazing.
And we're not bashful about it.
Yeah, I love that. And I love everything that you said about exercise being medicine, because that is so true and then it's so important.
Yes.
It makes me sad to hear about your first experience with a neurologist and not being told and explained what Parkinson's is, but I'm glad that you're able to then find resources to help you with the journey.
My neurologist today is the absolute. Well, I tend to talk in absolutes. My wife tells me that I'm binary.
So do I.
She says I'm binary. I'm 0 or 1, off or on. But my neurologist is she's such an integral part of my life right now. Having her just kind of gives me a level of peace all day, every day, that if something happens, I can go to her. She's amazing. Her name is Dr. Elizabeth Peckham, and she is just a hero of mine. So
I love that. So you have an amazing neurologist, amazing spouse. You're involved with Power for Parkinson's. Have you found any other like community resources that help you like navigate life with Parkinson's?
well, I haven't really looked for those. If you're doing 5 classes a week with Parkinson's, and then also Power for Parkinson's has opened a ping pong class, so I started getting involved in that. Then my life is pretty full. Anne and I love to go out and eat at various restaurants, and so we're going to go to one that we have not gone to yet, but have talked about for quite a while on Sunday for our anniversary.
Oh, which
So we're
restaurant?
enjoy going. It's called Carve.
Okay.
We have not been there yet, but we're gonna give it a try. And the other thing that really we love, Ann and I both love live music,
Love it.
and so yeah, we spend quite a bit of time going to hear a lot of. We have a lot of friends in the music industry, and it's really a blast to be able to go to a show and know somebody on the stage. It's just a lot of fun. I want to talk about how outstanding my wife has been through this. Um, Ann does a lot of work for Power for Parkinson's. She's retired also, and I could not live the life that I live and get to do the things that I do without Ann. And I love her very much, and she is just amazing. Now, she she tells me things sometimes like this. She'll say, Stan, what you lack in accuracy, you make up for with enthusiasm. Now, is that a compliment or a cut? You tell me. But I'll tell you, a person doesn't get Parkinson's disease, a family does. And she is such, I don't know what I would do without her in my life. I don't even want to find out. So, okay, so now,
well,
St.
Stan, now
Augustine.
you got me curious. How did you and Anne meet?
Well, we met at work, and we were working together, and just kind of morphed over time to where we ended up married.
Oh.
Yeah. So,
Oh.
and I think since we first got together, and I've never really had this conversation with Ann, but when we get together, there's never been anyone else for us.
Oh.
It's just we stuck it out, and we plan on continuing to go that direction.
I love that so much. This is not related to Parkinson's at all, but I am married. I'm 3 years in. What is your
Uh-huh.
best marriage advice?
Uh, you have to talk to each other. You have to sit. You have to look each other in the eye and talk to each other, and you both have to be honest. Because as soon as one of you goes off path on that honesty thing, things start to unravel. And so I think honesty I think there was one of the, now that you asked me that, I think the two people that are in a relationship should always have something in front of them to look forward to. Something that you agree that you're going to do at some point in time, or you're going to make at some point in time, or whatever. But you have to have something to look forward to, and you can create a series of those kinds of things. I think you're creating a path that works.
I love that. I love that. What is the next
Great.
thing that you two are looking forward to?
Um, Getting through Christmas. I think the other day she said, I'm going to put up the Christmas tree. And I said, you can color me gone. Yeah. So the Christmas tree is up and it looks absolutely terrific. So, and, but, we don't plan things really long term. I was telling you about the friends of mine at Abilene Christian. We're doing the reunion. That's going to be at the Green Mansion Inn in the town of Green, next door to the Green Hall. And one of our old college buddies owns that place, the Green Mansion Inn. So Ann will be with me on that, and that turns out to be a lot of fun. So
I love that. Thanks for sharing that. I very much love my husband, so I always like every time I meet like married people, happily married, I always ask. So I love that. Thanks for
yeah,
sharing that. I know you also like in our conversation before mentioned how you're involved with the St. Augustine PT and OT program and help out. Can you talk a little bit about your involvement with helping students?
okay. So several years ago, somebody that was in one of the Powerful Parkinson's classes asked me if I wanted to volunteer at St. Augustine. I told her yes. I started volunteering in classes led by Kristen Barta. And over the years, I've volunteered a lot at St. Augustine. I've been on that campus a whole lot of times, and Ann has been with me. She volunteers also with them. Um, I love going there and participating with the students. I don't like it when they put a gate belt on me, but I really enjoy being around those students there. And, you know, Um, I've met a lot of the faculty. I've spent time with the faculty at Spero. Y'all have a lot of people that went to St. Augustine that work for Spero, and I think that St. Augustine is part and parcel of a bigger effort in my life, and again, that's working with others. So I love to work with people in the drug and alcohol arena, people as aspiring physical therapists that go to St. Augustine. And I'll tell you what, Marcia, I also love working with people who've just been diagnosed with Parkinson's. I do. I sit down with people like that a lot, and I tell them, don't do what I did. You do not have to let Parkinson's define you. If you will get on an exercise path and stick to it, that's the single best thing you can do for yourself if you have Parkinson's disease. And if I see you and if I talk to you, I will say that to you emphatically. Now, can I weigh in on one other topic?
Mm-hmm.
I love Spero. I absolutely love it. I've known Sarah King for years. She's absolutely amazing.
Aww, she is.
But I've gone to Spero lately. I had a torn hamstring, and so the people there. There's a lady named Coy that is that's at the William Cannon facility at Spero that's worked with me. Everything went great, and then my lower back fell apart. Way back about 4 months ago, I've had back problems for a long time, but my back is just, it's really not in good shape. And so I'm going to go through a spinal cord stimulator, have that put in me. And so now Coy is working with me in the pool. I'm doing all of my exercise in the pool since my lower back one. She is terrific. Everybody at that facility I'm with, I don't know if all of you are that way all over the state, but I tell you, if you want to see a place where everybody's happy and energetic and making me feel good about what's going on, go to 6012 William Cannon Suite 110 and check it out. So,
I love that. I love that. What in your, if you had to pick three things that you think make a good physical therapist, what would you say those three things are?
um, sincerity when you're dealing with your patient. Um, I would say that the main thing that a physical therapist needs to do with the patient is to find out what they're afraid of and help allay their fears. So then you do that by caring for that person and that what that person does matters to you. It should not be just a rote diagnosis and session. I think the other thing is, when you're dealing with people that are in the different neurological states, if you're cut from this cloth, try a little humor. Try a lot of humor. Laughter is it's like the apex of everything good that you do that can actually let you laugh. The third thing would be find out what type of fears that the person that you're working with, what fears do they specifically have, and how have they tried to deal with those fears? Because they may be, paddling hard but getting nowhere. And if you can find out from them what they're afraid of, and then talk to them about it, I'll guarantee you they're probably bottled up and they need to release that and talk to somebody, and you're on the first cut of people that can do that. So, I don't know if that made any sense.
That made a lot of sense, and that's amazing advice. I think I agree.
Yeah.
I Sincerity, laughter, and finding out people's fears. That's
Mhm.
awesome. I love that. What do you? So I know you're very active and you exercise. I mean, now you have the injury, but exercised like 5 times a week. What else do you do in your free time? Any other pastimes? I know you mentioned going out to eat.
Yeah, going out to eat. Ed and I spend quite a bit of time with Power for Parkinson's. We do a lot of that. But when we have spare time, we love to go out and eat, and we love to go to live music. We like to travel, but not very far. Ann is from the Lubbock area. We're out there quite a bit where she has relatives, probably 20 relatives out there, and I think 6 or 7 of them are like 7 years old and under. So it's kind of an unbridled mayhem, but we don't have children, so we get to play with them and give them back.
I love that. I love that. In over the past, so since 2012, is that, oh, my math is 11 years. Over the past 11 years, are there any big milestones you've accomplished? Like something maybe you didn't think you would be able to do again that you're very proud of having been able to do?
About 9 years sober.
Yes. Yeah.
That's absolutely huge, and
Yes.
and this is just something that I will share with you. But in 2022, St. Augustine gave me their Force for Good award for
Yes.
as and I've never received anything like that, and that was just huge and so special to me. So
That's amazing. Congratulations on the award. And then I got
thank
to read
you.
your speech, and it was so beautiful. I love how you were able to write out like those like word of wisdom, but I also feel like a lot of things are important to you transpired. Like how much you love your wife, which is so evident with talking with you, was also so evident in the speech that you wrote, and I think that's such a beautiful thing. So huge
Well,
congratulations for that.
thank you, Mercy. I
You're welcome.
appreciate that very much.
Welcome. I talking about people that are important to you. So you mentioned your wife, your neurologist, Chloe
Mhm.
at Spero, Sarah at Spero. I also want to give you the opportunity to add anyone that was very instrumental in your journey. So if you had a big thank you list, like who else would you want to give a shout out to?
Dr. Peckham,
Oh yes, yes.
Dr. Elizabeth Peckham, absolutely. And then there's so many friends that I've made in the Parkinson's arena. I can't really start naming them. If I name any of them, there are others that are going to be mad that I. So I'm kind of keep that close to the vest. Um, but if that also gives me the opportunity to say this, if you're in Austin and you have a chance to go to the classes in person, for God's sake, do it, because one of the worst things that happens with people with Parkinson's disease is that they stay home and they isolate and they fret and they worry. If you can go to these classes, I watch people interact with each other all the time at these classes, and they become friends, and then they're not isolated anymore, and they've got someone they can talk to when they need to. So, so if you're outside of Austin, any kind of workout class, any kind of something that plugs you in to other people, because I really think that isolation is the exact opposite of community, and and I've seen it play out over and over and over again.
You're sharing such amazing words of wisdom. Um, I love that. I One of the things that I really appreciate and I mentioned before that you do is how you helping people newly diagnosed with Parkinson's, people recovering from any like alcohol addiction or anything like that. What do you think really helped you like achieve that 9 years of sobriety? Like, what do you think was really like the like created a mindset shift?
Well, I have to give credit, Alcoholics Anonymous, and that's all I'll say about that. It is an anonymous program, but I do a lot of work with people through there, and it's a vehicle for me to meet people that need help,
Hmm,
and so that's why that's so important to me.
I love that. I love that. Awesome. Stan, is there anything that I haven't asked you about that you would want to mention?
Um, yeah, it's the holiday season right now. Everybody's going to be able to make New Year's resolutions pretty quick. If you have Parkinson's disease, your New Year's resolution ought to be to find out everything you can about Power for Parkinson's.
That's awesome. That's great New Year's resolution. Power for Parkinson's. Exercise is medicine. Really important.
Go hear live music.
Oh, yes. Yes. Um, any other parting words, Stan? Anything else you want to add?
I don't think so, except just to say that I love that you're doing this. I feel very fortunate to have been able to meet you through this vehicle. And if you're ever in Austin, please call me and let's meet up at Spero where I do, and maybe during one of my sessions.
Yeah,
Then we could go after that and just get coffee or something.
that sounds great. That sounds great.
Okay.
Thank you so much, Stan. And thank you, Anne. Thank you guys so much.
To hear y'all.
So glad to get to meet you.
Yes.
All right. We are
Thank
ghosts.